1038.
#1
for music and entertainment.
Baltasar, congratulations on this film. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, thank you.
I heard that you turned down other offers of other jobs to do this film. What was it about this one that you went, no, I'm sticking with it, we are going to tell this story?
Well, from the first time I got this script sent to me, I was just totally taken, by the challenge of dealing with a multi-layered story of a lot of people, and also dealing with the biggest mountain in the world, and knowing what I had in store. So having the big offers coming in, 3 times the budget of this movie, even more, I think even 4 times the budget of this movie, and I thought, no, this is something I have to do and will do, and even it took a long time to finance, because these kind of movies are not the bread and butter of Hollywood, This is not what they, really want you to do. And so I had to really stick to my guns and be honest to myself, what kind of films do I want to make, And these are the kinds of films, and these are other kinds as well, but have a sort of reality, some kind of reality that you can connect with.
It's so funny, because he said these films aren't the bread and butter of Hollywood films, yet you had a phenomenal cast in this. How did you convince the studio to go, you know what, we're not going with one massive star, we're going to go with an ensemble cast, and some of them, like Robin Wright and Keira Knightley, won't even star in it that much, but they're vital to the story.
Yeah. Well, here's what I did, and this is the true story. I never told anyone else this, I think, or not in the press. I actually was invited to the premiere of Fast and Furious 7, which I had turned down as a director. And I remember I saw David Cossey, used to run Universal International, at the premiere. I drove into the corner of the room, and I told him how I wanted to do this, because there was a lot of big stars who wanted to play Rob. And I said, let me do it my way. Let me get an ensemble cast, and I have Jason Clarke as the lead. I think he's the right man. He's authentically right to do this. He has the right elements. And then I'll put really good names around him, who are first and foremost actors you will believe as real people, not people saturated with Hollywood kind of bollocks. And a lot of great actors have lost kind of that believability just through their careers. It doesn't mean they're bad actors. It's just the way these things go. And actually, I wouldn't let him go. I think he might have wanted to talk to someone else in that party. He said yes. And the day after, I think he called Tim Bevan and said, I think Baltasar, and what he wants to do makes sense. And I want to support him in that. I'm very grateful for that.
So you finally have everything in place, right? It's day one, you're about to shoot. This is a monumental shoot, and you have to have a lot of people's trust in you to go ahead. The families, the cast, the crew, you're putting them in precarious situations. How do you prepare for that, and how are you not going, actually I made a big mistake, I'm getting out of here?
Well, we did everything to prepare ourselves, right? I went to New Zealand to meet Jan Arnold, Helen Wilson, these women played by Keira and Emily, were very important to the story. And Guy Cotter, who played by Sam Worthington, one of the rescue teams, and Carol, the doctor, played by Elizabeth Debicki. I sat with them. They allowed me to listen to the tapes recorded that day that they hadn't listened for 18 years. And no one who has written about this, the books, all the books that were written, none of these people had access to this, okay? So I have the opportunity to really listen to Rob, talk to his wife, listen to Rob, talk to Helen Wilton in base camp, and it is just, the information and the trust you're shown there is incredible. I also told them that I was not necessarily going to sanitize, their loved ones. I was going to try to tell the true story. Okay, let's get back to your question. Now you've been trusted with it. You are at this moment. We actually started in Kathmandu, and the chaos of the shooting, and then we are basically going up all the way to the memorial of Everest on foot. Actors carrying their own bags. Name it, and they're getting altitude sickness, and people are falling apart, and they want to go. I had a crying actor in my arm, saying, "I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm scared. I want to, this is not my kind of thing. I made a mistake. Can I get out of here?" And you have to be very strong in that moment. And what I loved about making this film, I was at the mercy of the mountain. Every day I come out, I basically say, what is that mountain? And I'm talking about the Dolomites now, not Everest, because that's complicated as well. We had avalanche warnings every day, you know.
Wow.
What is that mountain gonna let me do? So I'm like a climber in a way. I just have to listen to nature and say, okay, this is they will let us do this today, let's do that, okay? And then we gotta figure out every day how we're gonna put this together. Yes, to answer your other part of the question, I'm sorry how long-winded I am, but every morning at 7 o'clock, I had that thought, what the fuck am I doing here? But then at 8 o'clock, I was in it and didn't have the thought the rest of the day.
Well, thank you for bucking the Hollywood system. Thank you for making this film. It was fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Spin 1038.
#1
for music and entertainment.